Recording is starting. Okay, so good evening, guys. I think we just started recording. Okay, so the reason for deciding to move this call to Google Meet is to ensure we have that ease of communication, right? Where you guys can unmute yourself and ask questions, respond to questions, or even drop comments, in the chat for those of you that would prefer to do that. So yeah, this is meant to be a highly collaborative session, right? Um, I believe product managers who really wants to know how to build products. I mean, that's basically what you should learn to do. Although most product managers in organizations tend to work as project managers, right? Most product managers in various organizations tend to work as project managers. They don't. They are not put in charge, or they are not put in the position where they get to build and I would say create products from their experience, right? From their basically they don't get to work as someone who should be in that role, right? Product management, which is creating and managing the product life cycle. But they rather find themselves managing a project, right? Especially if you get into banking, right? You see a lot of product managers. They are called product owners, but what they do mostly is manage the development process of a particular project, right? There are so many things they don't get to learn. There are so many things they don't get to you know um to do, right? Especially when it comes to things like brainstorming, ideation. They are not carried along in those process. What we are going to be learning today, I'm sure you guys can see it on my screen here. Crafting product vision and creating effective marketing research. We're also going to explore two tools, Notion, which is the first one. We're just going to cover, the basics, as well as Google Sheet, right? Now, for Google Sheet, we're simply going to learn how we can use this um, to set up, I would say, more like a strategy um, document, right? Sort of. Uh, yeah, and for Notion, we are going to simply learn how to use it to create simple documentation, of course, for easy referencing. Okay, yeah. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's just keep that in mind. So for the Google Sheet, we'll just come up with like the market research, right, which is going to be like our strategy. And for Notion, we'll just use that to craft a simple document, which is primarily for our example, we'll be creating the vision statement in Notion, right? Very simple, right? There's nothing complex about what we're going to be doing with those tools. But we'll definitely have sessions where we'll get to learn specific tools, right, over time. Okay. All right. So speaking of product vision, if you go through this the material that was shared earlier, right? This basically covers what we'll be learning today. There's a tiny, I would say, typo, right? There's a typo here in this 1 hour. This should be hour, not hours. All right, so in this 1 hour training, we'll get to understand the basics or the fundamentals of building a clear product vision and performing comprehensive market research to set our product on the path to success. Okay, so you're going to learn how to define the long-term impact for products, right? And of course, would understand things like the competitive landscape of our solution, right? By basically conducting what we call a competitive analysis. Okay, so we're going to also learn how to use Notion. I mentioned that already, and Google Sheets. All right, and yeah, so these are the objectives: understanding the purpose of product vision, developing a vision statement, conducting market research, and using those tools. Okay, so yeah, if you have any question, while we're learning, do well to drop your questions in the chat. I would also ask some questions, uh, try to respond. But of course, I mean, if you guys yeah, if you respond, then I think the conversation will be more interesting. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me jump into giving you some definitions. Right. So please take out your notes, or probably open like your notepad tool, or your sticky notes on your laptop, if you want to be writing some of these things. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. So one of the first thing I would want to give you um some definition on would be the product vision, right? So since that is something we're already discussing here, I think it makes a lot of sense that you actually understand what it means. Okay, so when we say product vision, what exactly do we mean? All right, so this is a simple definition that I have here. The product vision is the fundamental reason for the product's existence. You'll find yourself working with a team of stakeholders building products, and most times you will realize that even the stakeholders that brought you as a product manager to manage that product that is being worked on, you'll notice that they don't even have like a clear knowledge, or a clear, or should I say, yeah, like a clear vision. They don't have that clear vision as to what this product should be used for. Maybe you have like three co-founders in that organization, and you realize that the three of them expect three different results. Yeah, most times, I mean, you definitely see this most times, right? I've seen it most times. You have people in the same organization, you ask them the same question, what is this software used for? And they give you two different answers. Now, the thing is, it might be possible, that the audience might, see the possibility of using the product in different ways. But it makes sense if, the organization have a clear product vision as to what this product should, be used for, what the product is meant for, what it stands for, what it exists for. Okay, so the product vision is the clear reason for the product's existence. It's actually a long-term goal that explains what the product aims to achieve, right? So I'm going to write down some of these things while I explain. Okay, so it is a long-term goal, right? So it's a long-term goal that explains what the product aims to achieve. It's a long-term goal that explains what the product aims to achieve. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it explains what the product aims to achieve. And of course, we can also include and why it is valuable to the users. All right. So I think that, yeah, that explains. Give me a second. Let's create enough space. Okay. All right. I think we can duplicate this. Okay, so it's a long-term goal that explains what the product aims to achieve and why it is, valuable to the users. Okay, so a clear product vision would definitely help to align the team. It would help guide decision making, and it would also inspire the stakeholders by providing a common direction. Right? It makes sense if you have 20 people working on a product, and they are all aligned with the purpose of that product. Right? It would definitely keep them inspired, and of course provide that common direction as to where this product is heading to. Okay, so I would also include this. All right, I would also include this here. So a clear product vision helps to align the team, guide decision making, and inspire stakeholders by providing a common direction. All right. Okay, so now, of course, speaking to the angle of a product manager, right? One thing you must understand is that a product vision. This is something that can be created by the C-suite executives in an organization, whether it's the CEO, the COO. Um, yeah, so I mean, the fact that the product manager can also work on this doesn't mean it's the product manager's job all the time. to come up with this, right? You might get into an organization where they already have the product vision, document or documentation, worked on, and you have to follow what is being presented to you, right? But for scenarios where you realize that they don't have it, it makes sense if you work on it, right? Just to keep that, consistency as to what this product is aimed for, right? Okay, so um, if you get into an organization, right? So let me ask the question. Please mute yourself. Mute yourself. If you're not speaking, mute yourself. Okay. So what happens if you get into an organization um, and you realize they do not have a product vision for one of their products? Okay. So what exactly would you do if you are in such a if you're in such environment? What will you do? Okay, so I mean that leads us to that particular question as a product manager, right? You get into that environment. What exactly would you do? You have to ask questions. Questions are very important. I've noticed most people don't understand, the importance of questions. The fact is, you don't try to make up everything in your head because you believe you are very smart. Asking questions will definitely save you most of the time, because you will quickly realize that the way you assume those things to be might not exactly be what the organization is expecting of you, right? So you get into an organization and you realize that they are building maybe a financial application, and this financial application has several features, right? It has several features such as maybe making a VTU purchases, right? Probably they have like a wallet system where you can save money, right? And then um, you know, you begin to make a lot of assumption, right? Because you realize that, oh, I know what a wallet system should do. I know what this referral program on the app should do. I know what a VTU system should do, and you begin to make lots of these assumptions. And at the end of the day, you come up with your own definition of these things in that organization. Maybe you are now engaged in a meeting with the founders, and you realize that, okay, the purpose of these things on the app is to aid, give us the numbers that we need now so we can drive this particular feature, which is the main reason why we built this app, right? You never thought of that before. Okay. You were thinking, oh, what we are building is an application that people can use to recharge their devices. They can use to do A, B, C, based on your own thoughts. And now you are in that meeting, and the founders, they are beginning to tell you that, oh, the reason for this, this set of features that you have seen is to drive feature D, right? That you probably did not pay attention to, because they're now telling you that is the main purpose of the app. And we realize that the best way to get the numbers, or to get those signups, is by adding these additional features like the referral program, so we can have more people sign up before we introduce them, to the main app, or to the main feature, sorry, that we plan to release. Okay. So assumptions, can be good, but then they can also be misleading, especially when you don't ask those clarifying questions. Okay. So clarifying questions, very important. Keep that in mind. All right. So one of the main questions you would want to ask is, as a product manager, of course, is why do we exist? Okay. So why do we exist? Of course, referring to the app that is being built. Why do we exist? Now, there are other questions that would come in, especially when you begin to do competitive analysis, right? We'll get to that shortly. Okay. So what you might do would be to maybe set up a workshop or a brainstorming session where you can have this conversation, right, to answer this specific question. Okay. You begin to see ideas flying around, from the different stakeholders, whether it's the engineers, the sales people, the marketing people, or the executives. And at the end of the day, everybody would reach an alignment to say, oh, this is exactly why we exist, and at least this is what will be written on the books. We are building app A because we want to achieve this specific goal. Okay. We're going to work with an example, right? During the course of this class, we would work with an example, and that example will guide us, throughout this class. Okay. So our example is that we are going to build. We're going to be designing a financial literacy application, right? The point is this application should empower young adults to feel confident managing their money by providing them with accessible and practical financial tools tailored to their unique life stage. Okay, so this is what I was able to come up with, um, and that is what I think we'll just use for the purpose of this class. Okay. All right. So your product vision should be clear. It should be straightforward. This is an example. What you're seeing here is a product vision, a product vision statement. Okay. So I mean, this can basically be the name of your app. I was not able to come. I could not come up with any uh, nice names. I'm still trying to think right now, but I mean, um, okay. Let's see. Okay, I think the only thing coming to my head right now, I think someone is already using that. But let's go with it. Monify, right? Monify. So yeah, Monify app. Okay. So the Monify app exists to empower young adults. I hope I remember this. Monify. All right. So this is what this is what we're building. So the Monify app exists to empower young adults to feel confident managing their money by providing them with accessible and practical financial tools tailored to their unique life stage. Okay. Of course, this would pose a lot of questions already. If we had this brainstorming session to decide or before we are able to make this decision, then it will be clearer to most of us. Of course, we don't have enough time, so we just have to work with this example. All right. But what exactly, will be the requirement to developing this, vision statement, right? Um, okay. So, just like I've mentioned before, the product vision is the reason for the product existence. Let's try to understand what exactly is a vision statement, right? What exactly is a vision statement? Just like what we have here. What is a vision statement? All right. So a vision statement is a short, inspirational declaration that describes the essence of the product and its long-term goals. All right. So it would convey what the product aspires to achieve and the impact it seeks to make. Okay. So if you go through this particular example I have here, you see um, it exists to empower young adults to feel confident managing their money by providing them with accessible, practical, and practical financial tools tailored to their unique life stage. Now, one thing you will realize is that we did not mention the features of this application, right? We're just giving you, the clear vision. This is what we hope to achieve, right? Long term. Okay. We did not tell you that we hope to build a specific feature to help these people manage saving their money or performing faster transactions. We didn't specify the exact functionalities. We were just giving what we believe is the long-term vision. Okay, the long-term plan. All right, so that is a vision statement. I would drop this definition I have here for us as well. So let's do that. This call is being recorded, so at least it will be shared with you so that you can also go through it again. All right, so this is a vision statement. What is a vision statement? All right, so I'll drop this here. Important question to ask. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's talk about conducting market research. Market research would definitely help us put this vision statement in order. Um, yeah, I mean if you're working with a team to build a product and you know for sure that someone else already has something similar. If you don't conduct proper market research to carve out that niche for yourself, most people will always ask you the same question. Okay, what makes you better than app B or app C? What makes you better than OPay? What makes you better than I think they have a feature they call O Wealth or something. What makes you better than Money Point or their Money Point Finance or Money Point wealth application. I know most of these banks out there have, wealth and lending solutions, right? So the question would be, what makes you special, right? That's what they are trying to ask you. Why should I use your product instead of the other products that already exist? Okay. If you don't understand the market very well, right? You don't understand the market that you are playing in or that product is playing in. Um, when people begin to ask you these questions, you definitely will not have, adequate, response, right? You won't have the right answers to give because you have not spent enough time trying to understand who is in business with you, doing the same thing, and what makes you or what makes them different from, your offering. Okay. All right. So, market research in itself is the process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information about a market, including the competitors, the customer needs, and the industry trends. Okay. So, the market research would help identify gaps, opportunities, and user expectations that inform the product's development and positioning. Okay. So, this is very important. I'm going to drop that here next. So, what is market research? Okay, so let's. All right. Okay, so market research is a process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information about a market, including the competitors, the customer needs, the industry trends, and it helps identify the gaps, opportunities, and user expectations that inform the product's development and positioning. All right. Okay, so, the purpose of you turning to market research as a product manager is to primarily understand the competitive landscape, right? Uh, what you have to do then would be to look at other, financial literacy applications, and then you try to analyze which gaps exist and what features resonate with, most of the users, right? You begin to conduct research, you begin to create like questionnaires, reach out to existing users of, I would say, users of existing applications or potential users, right? You have to reach out to a large majority of, people, ask questions, um, and of course, work closely with the feedback that you gather. All right. We're going to create a sample document using Google Sheets. I would show you how you would, structure your sheet to perform that competitor analysis, where you write down the names of the competitors, some of their key features, the target audience, right? The target audience for that particular competitor. Um, yeah, the strengths, their weaknesses as well, and of course their USP. The USP means the unique selling point of that particular competitor. Okay. Um, if you are able to gather like 5 or 10 of these, I mean, of course, most times you'll be able to gather even more, but let's just say 5 or 10, and you identify what they do. You then compare, this with the information you've gathered from that questionnaire, right? Of course, you met several potential users, and they told you what they would expect to have from such application. Okay, maybe they mentioned they want to have like budget tracking or savings, or some educational articles teaching them about finance. Maybe they say they want to have, they want to be able to see forums where they discuss, economics and, the state of commerce, right, in the economy, or in that particular, or in their zone, in their country, or they say they want to have access to financial experts, right, that can educate them on how to better invest their money, right, or trading. So there are so many areas. Okay, there are so many areas, but the thing is, you can't try to build the whole thing at once because you most likely fail if you go that route. You need to understand the audience. You need to understand, what they expect to have at least, for an MVP, and you build towards that. Okay, of course, not throwing away that long term goal. The long term goal is what you have defined already here, right? You want to empower young adults to feel confident managing their money, right? Probably through investment opportunities, through trading, yeah, I mean, purchasing of assets, which is of course investment, purchasing of assets, if it's real estate, there are so many things that I believe so many things are already coming to your head at the moment. So, based on that research and based on the questionnaire you've put out there, or the physical interview you've conducted, you'll be able to at least, structure this idea properly, and of course, take down those information in your market research plan. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and, I would say let's set up the first tool, which is Google Sheet, so we can just map out this first example. All right. So for our market research plan, the first thing we're going to map out here right now would be the competitor analysis sheet. All right. So I'm going to pull up docs.google.com. All right. And from here, I would simply click on Sheets. All right. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is how you access it. Okay. Of course, you need to have a Google account already. Um, yeah. So next, I will click on the plus sign you see right here, right? The bottom right. So this says create new spreadsheet. Let's click on that. Okay. So yeah, I hope you can still hear me. I can see someone is saying I can't hear you. Okay. I think it's your network. Okay. So yeah, looking at what we have right now, we've been able to create our blank sheet. If you have not used Google Sheet before, of course, this might look uh, totally new and maybe maybe a bit strange, very strange. I think very strange for people that haven't used this before. If you have experience with using Excel, Microsoft Excel, which is the one you install natively on your machine, it's very similar, right? If you can use Excel, you can use Google Sheet. Okay. Um, yeah. So here we're simply going to set up that the name of our file. All right, and we're going to call this file the competitor analysis. Let's just call it competitor analysis. Okay, so let's come back in here, and we have competitor analysis right here. So that would save automatically. Yeah, at this point here, you see we can actually share. We can share this file to other people, right? So we can share like this. You can add the email of the people you want to share to. Okay, I didn't mean to pull up that that section. I think that was meant to be more like a private thing. Anyways, the point is we can actually share this file to a lot of people by adding their email in there. Um, you can actually join a call with this option here and present the work you're doing, right? Yeah, and for this, when people comment on this file, you can find that comment here. Right here you have like the menu options, right, for the file, to create a new file, to open an existing file, to share, to email this file, to download this file offline, right? So you can view it offline. Yeah, so the edit menu to copy, paste, cut, some of these actions there. The view option where you can freeze cells or rows or columns. Um, the grouping options, right? So you have to actually spend enough time, trying to understand every single thing here. You can create charts, right? Pivot tables. You can create drawings. You can import images, right? You can set up functions, right, which are basically calculations and formulas, right? You can basically use that to perform some basic functionality here. So if I have 5 here, 5 here, I can do something like this. So I can say equals, which is how you start generating or working with the formula. So if I say sum, which is addition, right? So I can select the column B2, right? You see I have that place highlighted, okay? And I also select maybe C2, right? So I want to add B2 and C2. So when I press enter, it gives me 10, right? I can see that formula right here in the FX bar. Okay. Um, those are the labels, right? How do you label each of these cells? These are called cells, okay? And to get the label of each of these cell, you have to, look at the cell like this. You have to take this value here, which is C, right? So basically, you have to look at it from the vertical and horizontal headings. So we have this value here C, right? And then we have this value at this point. Excuse me. Sorry, can you guys hear me? Who is on the call? Let's say Rita, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Just wanted to be sure. Okay. So using this formula option here, you see we're able to perform this simple addition, right? We have different formulas. If you click on if you go to this formula bar, let's say insert function. Okay, so you see we have a lot of them here. Some average count. If you check the all section, you see we have so many, right? I remember, back in the day, probably 2009, 2010, when we tried picking up Excel, or when we started learning Excel, we tried as much as possible to cram everything here. Please don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, we have a lot to think about already. So, trying to memorize all these things is not, I don't think it's going to be helpful. You don't need to be a spreadsheet wizard. If you can, I mean, that would be good. But trust me, it's probably not going to. I don't think that's the highest problem you have as a product manager. You just need to understand that we have formulas, right? I can always, inspect to search for formulas that I need. I have tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or Cloud AI, right, to simply search for the right formula that I need, given that specific scenario. So I can always play around with these things. I can always try to apply some of them if I want to look for like the average. So let me give you another example before we start creating that sheet that we need to create. So let's say we have the name of different candidates. So let's say names, and we have different scores here, maybe like maths. Let's just say maths. Okay, come on. I thought yeah, English. All right, and maybe other studies. Okay, so we have three subjects. We just call it math, English, and other studies, and we have different scores in here. These people look like they don't know anything. So let me try to make it better. All right. Oh, come on. I don't know why I keep selecting those terrible scores. Okay, so let's call this person Mav O1, Mav O2, and Mav O3. All right, so we have different people. This is a simple table. Of course, you might be thinking this is a table right now. It's not. If you want to apply that table, you have to come down to insert. As a matter of fact, there's a simple option here, right? So we can use this option. Makes it easier for us to apply that table. We can select this first column and we can choose to we can choose to freeze that column. There are so many things you can do there. You can choose to freeze that column. Let's see. So if I click on this view more row actions, I can say freeze up row. Sorry, we're trying to freeze the row actually. So you see I can scroll now, and if I have like lots and lots of records, this would remain as a heading. Of course, I can also apply um, like a background. I can change the fore color to the foreground color to white. So yeah, just a simple example here. And of course, with this information, I can also create like a chart, right? I can select the whole thing from here. Um, all right, so let's select the whole thing from here. I'll just go down to insert, click on chart. So let's see what we have. So you see, we have a simple chart here. We can customize this chart, with different styles, set up different stacking options. Yeah, we can choose to even change the type of the chart, of course, if you want to. The point is, it's easy to actually create these charts if you have the data selected. But another thing is, if you want to include those formula, maybe like total, maybe like average, right? So we can simply come in here to say equals sum B to, yep, to B4. So it was able to give us that automatic completion. So we can simply, drag like this, and it automatically, it's because I dragged it from here, it was able to automatically give me the value for this one as well. So if I double click, you see that is highlighted already. I don't have to do it manually. If I come in here and I say equals average, right? It was able to use that completion to also understand the formula that I need, and I can also drag it this way. So that creates the average for me automatically. So yeah, I mean we have a lot of other interesting things we can do with Excel or with Google Sheet. But for now, that was just a simple overview, right? So I think I can clear the whole thing, and of course delete this row as well. Okay, so let's go ahead with the detail of our competitor analysis sheet, right? So we need to put in some of these columns that I came up with already. So let me just paste it in here first. Then we can go ahead to set it up like this. So I copy this. Uh, Come on. So this will be the first item there, competitor name. You can decide to also include like the serial number, which is not, it's usually not necessary because we already have the numbering on this side. Most people might want to still keep it, so let's just do it this way. We have the competitor name, we have the key features that that competitor has. We have target audience for that competitor. We have the strengths, okay, and we have their weaknesses, and of course their unique selling point, which is the USP. All right, so let's take this off. Okay, so you can of course expand this uh, target audience. Okay. Yeah, remember you can decide to freeze this just like I mentioned earlier. So we can freeze this so that we can scroll up and down. Serial number 1, 2, 3. Let's just come down here, generate. Yeah, come on, not like that. Come on. That should be 3. that was a mistake. So 3. Let's just stop at 10. So now we have 1 to 9. We can also make it 10, just like this. Okay, so now we have 10 competitors here. What we are going to do is generate yeah, let's just generate some record. Okay, so let's just generate some record at least to make this let's go to Gemini. I'm sure you guys know Gemini, and of course, in the real world, you have to basically model actual applications that exist out there. We don't have enough time to do that, and yeah, I mean, I think that's the major constraints at this moment. Okay, so we already have like the basic idea, right? which is what our application should do. So what I'm going to do right now is to first go down to Escali Draw, which is this tool. I'm going to pick this. So this is our main. Okay. So this is our product. This is our product vision. Generate, I would say, 10 um, competitors for us um, for a okay competitor analysis documentation. Include the following fields. So the fields, I would simply grab that from what we have here, just from here down to this point. Okay. So let's just see what we have. Okay. So this it just generated this. Uh, all right. I think there's a cool feature we can simply export this into Excel from here. Okay, so let's open the sheet. All right. Okay, so I can just copy this guy. Copy. Let's take that back into our sheets. Let's paste. All right. I think I can take off the numbers. Okay, so of course that's the power of AI. If you know how to prompt, I think you would actually it would improve and it would definitely improve your workflow. Okay, so we're able to generate these. Oh, I think these are actual applications out there, or maybe some of them, because I know Robinhood. I don't think I know the others. I think I know Chime. Some people call it Chime. Um, yeah, I know Robinhood, but I don't know the others. But I think they're actual applications. So it's giving us like the key features. You see, we have like a lot of details in there. What I would usually do is you know break the lines. So yeah, to break the line, I'm just using Alt Enter. So I hold the Alt key, alternate, and I just click on Enter, or I press Enter actually. So yeah, so now we have 10 records here. You see the first competitor, Chime. One of some of their key features would be spending and savings accounts, early direct deposits, and fee-free overdraft. For the second one here, they have automated investing, roundup savings. Automated investing is quite interesting because if you're doing automated investing, um, are you saying that the user will always profit? I mean, is that the case? Some companies make really bold, promises, and then they employ or they get some of the best financial experts out there, to deliver on that promise, right? Um, it is most to me. I think it's actually certain that there will be profit on your money, right? Because if people are trading with your money and then losing, um, they said is automated, which means of course you have to opt in for that. But I mean, if you are watching your money, go away slowly, I'm sure uh, you won't be happy with that. So, so I think they have some of the best, or they've implemented some of the. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I would just say they've put in all those things into consideration because you don't want to lose people's money, right? Then their target audience, see their target audience right here: young adults, low income individuals, young adults, beginners in investing. So yeah, mostly young adults for all of them. Okay, and at least now you are beginning to see different target audience: young adults, savers, which means what they will most likely be doing here is savings, goal-based savings, automated saving rules. Yeah, automated savings, financial coaching, right? Teaching them how to save. They also have some details in the strengths section there. This is user-friendly interface, no overdraft fees, customizable saving rules, AI-powered savings. The more you understand the competition, the better it is to streamline, what you do or what you're trying to do, the services you're trying to provide, what you pride yourself for, right? You are able to streamline those things into, simple and straightforward features like this that people would look at and say, "Oh, this what you're doing is different," right? For this Well Simple, you see they have automated investing, financial planning, tax loss harvesting, mobile banking, that's for current mobile banking, early direct deposits, and fee-free overdraft, which is similar to the first one we checked the other time. Okay, financial management tools, budgeting and saving goals. So yeah, we have 10 competition that we've been able to analyze here, and we can also see the strengths. One of the important parts to also check would be the weakness. Okay, so let's expand this and let's see limited investment options for the first one, limited account customization options. So these weaknesses are the things you might end up, trying to solve. I mean, it's a problem. It would be a problem to some, people, right? But you need to understand that audience that it is a problem to also know if they are willing to pay for a solution. If you are providing a solution with your own app, right? If that is part of your plan, you need to know if they are willing to pay for the solution because it's possible that these guys already noticed that the target audience out there. Will not pay for some of those things, and that is why they've not built it in, right? Don't ever assume that people are, dull. I mean, if you are getting into product management already, one thing you would have realized is how customers or people out there tend to assume, oh, this company is so stupid. How come they did not think of this feature? But then you begin to realize, wait, why is this person thinking that company A or company B did not even think of the future? They must have thought of that feature. They are not that stupid, right? Of course, there are scenarios where they probably omitted that, but we have a lot of companies out there. Don't think that having one idea where you say, "Oh, these guys don't have investment options. Let's build another alternative and let's put in a lot of investment options so we can steal their users." It probably would not work, right? You might try it and realize that, oh, you have lost some money because you were thinking by putting some of these things more people will come, only to realize that after building your own version with a lot of investment options, you realize that people became so confused that they become so skeptical about investing, right? Because they feel the options you have are just too many and confusing because they are not financial experts, right? They are seeing 10 different investment options that look so similar, and they are confused. They don't know which one to go for, and you did not even give them proper anchoring, to make them make decisions faster, right? So you begin to realize that the solution was not to give them lots of investment options, but to make them understand how to make those investment decisions faster or better. Okay. Yeah. So the unique selling points for the first one, they're focused on banking basics with modern twist. So you see, we have those unique selling points for each of them. For the last one, yeah, it says all-in-one personal finance platform. So based on what you are trying to build, now that you've understood, the market landscape with this information, at least the basics, you'll be able to, better streamline, the features you have on your own product. Okay. um, yeah, and I mentioned the basics because we also have a advanced way of performing this mapping, right? Where you have more detailed columns here. You try to dive into more details, right? But from the surface, these are more like the important things you need to know, at least to have that basic uh, uh, um, to have that market overview, right? To see what the market looks like, especially from the competition angle. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what your competitor analysis would look like. The next thing I would want us to, dive into right now would be to simply develop that vision statement, right? So we're simply going to develop that vision statement. I would have loved to come up with another sheet that I would call the industry trends sheet. Okay. So that is a different sheet that you can use to follow up with the trend and the impact on the market, right? And of course, the relevance of that trend to your product. Okay. So, for example, a simple trend might be maybe there was a rise in interests among young adults for sustainable investment, right? And then you realize that the impact on the market was that many apps began to add content on ethical investment. Yeah, they began to create content, maybe video-based content. It might be video-based because they also realize that these young adults don't spend enough time reading, and they prefer content like video content, right? There are always reasons for most of these things. So if you decide to start your own application or build your own application, and you are like, oh, let's try to put in um text-based content, at least to show people the raw information, not plenty videos, or videos of people talking here and there. And then you realize that even though the content you have is very rich, people are not consuming it, right? You are not attracting people to your application, only to realize that the audience are not a fan of reading these long messages. They just prefer you tell them, go straight to the point, tell them what to do. I mean, they probably want you to tell them what to do, right? So yeah, you need to understand those trends as well. We won't be able to work on that on this call, but the industry trend sheet would be something you should try out. You can come up with something on that part, right? So all you have to do would be to create another sheet. This is the first sheet here. Okay, you can simply call this competitor analysis sheet, and then you can have another sheet by simply pressing the plus sign here. It creates another sheet for you, so you can call this trend analysis sheet. Okay, so you can always move from one tab to the next tab just like this. All right, so that is it for Google Sheets. It's already 7:04, so I need to quickly rush to Notion.so. All right, so on Notion.so, we're simply going to create our vision statement. Right, it's not something very lengthy. I wouldn't say it's something very lengthy. Um, yeah, we just need to outline a couple of things. Um, just show you how to create one. So we'll just build up a template for our financial literacy app, which is the Monify app. Okay. So this is my workspace. If you don't have an account, of course, you would have to sign up, right? So yeah, you would have to sign up, and you can simply sign up with your Google account, which is sign up with Gmail. I think Gmail. Yeah, sign up with Google. Um, I'm just going to create a new sheet here. So let's click on the plus sign here, and yeah, we have our new page. Okay, so once you've created your account, you're going to be, met with a screen like this. Of course, not with a lot of things here. I have a lot of things on this particular workspace. So the point is, you'll be able to actually set up workspaces. This is one of the workspaces I have on Notion, and I think the network is pretty messy at this point, but fortunately, I can't can't open this. Okay. Anyways, so you're going to have like your workspace, and you can create additional workspaces. I don't know if there's a limitation to the amount of workspace you can create. I think I personally have over 20 of them already. But yeah, I'm sure you can create enough that you would need for your documentations. Okay. One other tool you might want to use, or you might find yourself using in an organizational setting, might be Confluence, right? Maybe not Notion, most likely not Notion. It most likely would be Confluence for documentation. Um, Regardless, if you are able to use Notion, I believe you should be able to use Confluence for documentation to a large extent. Okay, so you've created your account, and you're given this sheet, you're given this page. We have we just clicked on this private section, clicked on the plus sign here to create a new page, and this is the new page. All right, so I'm going to call this. Let's call this product vision document for the Monify app. Okay, product vision. Okay, vision. Come on, document. for the Monify app. All right. So this is the product vision document. We're going to capture a couple of sections. The first one being the vision statement. So we have the vision statement, and then of course, remember we mentioned that the vision statement is a short and inspiring declaration of the product's long-term aspirations and intended impact. So we are simply going to bring in that you know product vision statement, which is this. The next thing you want to capture would be the mission statement, right? So let's go ahead and bring in the mission statement. And of course, the mission statement would outline what the product does and whom it serves. It's going to act as the specific guide for achieving the vision, right? So the mission is like saying, okay, what are the things we have to do to get to this point, right? So this is the mission statement. Then the next thing we would have in this document would be the core product goals. Okay, so the core product goals. Now, what you are seeing me do is simply copy and paste. But let's assume you want to actually create different sections on this document. All I have to do is press this slash uh, key right on my keyboard. This is the forward slash, or you can simply click on the plus sign here, and it gives you all those things. So you have to select: do you want to put in a text, or a page, or a to-do list, or headings, right? Or is it a bulleted list, or a table you want to create? Is it a numbered list, a toggle list, right? You can actually create, different types of lists here. Um, I can set up a to-do, so you see, eat, sleep, code, right? And of course, you can check them based on what you've done. So, I mean, it has a lot of integrations. You can of course integrate or embed bookmarks as well, embed videos, embed different types of tools. You can embed like a Figma screen or a Figma page. So the features on Notion are very robust. Yeah, you can add comments. You can add a cover image at the top there. You can add icon. I'm sure you have noticed that most of the documents we share to you guys in class is basically Notion documents. My network is messy, as you can see, right? This is not even loading on time. So let me just go ahead and remove some of these things for now. Um, yeah, let me see. Can I take this off? Sure. Well, it's not change cover. Remove. Okay, yeah. All right. So for the core product goals, we're just going to put in a couple of goals here, right? The product goals are basically specific, measurable objectives that drive the product's process, ensuring alignment with the vision. Okay. So let's drop the product goals here, and I would also drop the definition of the product goal uh, right on where is it? Escalidraw. So what is product goal? Come on. What is a product goal? All right. Okay, so yeah, so after putting in the product goal, of course, as you can see, I just have a couple of product goals here. Provide a comprehensive, user-friendly platform for financial education, address the financial literacy gaps unique to young adults, and empower users to make informed financial decisions through practical tools and contents. All right. So target audience would be the next thing that you put in here. So, what is the target audience? I have examples here. Basically, what is the target audience, right? The target audience is the specific group of users for whom the product is designed for, right? Um, yeah, and I would say that will be defined by the demographics, the needs, and the behavior. So here we have the target audience for our application, the primary audience, young adults aged 18 to 25, recent graduates, entry-level professionals, and college students seeking financial independence. And this is an example of a user persona that we have, Sarah, age 23. who is a recent graduate working in her first job, aiming to understand budgeting basics and aiming to build a savings plan. All right. So let's just drop a definition for the target audience. I'll drop that on Excalidraw as well. Let's go back to Excalidraw. All right, let's duplicate this. So, what is the target audience? All right, and I think the final thing we'll be looking at here, probably not the final thing, but yeah, I think I would just say the market research summary. So ideally, you want to share that as a sheet, because that is what we have here. You probably prefer to just share this as a sheet. What most people would also do would be to extract every information here and write it out this way. So I would show you an example. Um, yeah, I'll show you an example. So let's copy and just paste. So this is what you would see them do. They would write competitor analysis. They will put the competitor, the name, the key feature, the target audience, the unique strengths, the gaps. You see, they would arrange it like this for different competitors, in here. And then they would also include that industry trend I told you about, right? Okay, so they would include it as well, straight inside this document like this. Okay, so yeah, this also works, but if you ask me, I prefer you do that on Google Sheet, because of course, if you are writing these items for like 20 competition, then you can imagine how lengthy this document would be. I think it's better, keeping it separate so you can share that separately. Maybe with a link, you can actually drop a link of that file here. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, I think this is what we need uh to have for this document. Yeah. One thing you can choose to include would be the proposed features, but that is something you would most likely bring in when it comes to setting up the functional requirement document. Now, that will be a different document. We call it the FRD. We also have the PRD on the other side, product requirement document. Now, those features can be shown on those documents. And of course, you can drill down into the details. But you can also include it here as the proposed features, right? Now, the reason why we usually don't keep it here is because um, you might have not gathered all the detail that would go into each feature. You might know how these features should work. So when writing it here, you probably just want to keep it high level, right? That's why you see here we also have it high level. Tools for budgeting, savings, debt management, that are designed to educate users on core money management skills, investment education. These are accessible content on the platform with regards to investing, which is focused on sustainable and micro investment options, right? We have gamified learning option with achievements and rewards for hitting milestones, designed to encourage users and, of course, uh, ongoing learning. All right. So, yeah, one thing you might also include in a document would be what we call next steps and iteration, right? Where you talk about the review cycle to say this is how long we're going to take before reviewing this material to see and to make sure we are still on track, right? And of course, stakeholder involvement. Um, yeah, although that's not like a compulsory or important field to even have, but most people can also include that. Okay, so you see, we have this section that speaks to the review cycles, where they gather feedback and they ensure that they are still aligned with the product vision. Yeah, so that is basically what your vision statement document would look like. In the end, um, you can actually share this. You can make it public, so you can say anyone with the link, and then copy the link. You can come back in here When you get to the competitor analysis section, you can just decide to, paste this somewhere, maybe paste this here. All right. So you can choose to paste it in as a preview, or you can choose to embed it or just drop in a URL. You can click on preview, but if you put preview, then you have to connect this to your drive, so you'll be able to preview it from here directly. Notion has that feature. We don't need to go deep into that. We're going to stop here for today. We have more things to explore, in later sessions as to the specific tools. We usually organize sessions teaching so many tools, right? Um, we haven't done that this year because we have a lot of things going on. But hopefully, before the end of the year, we would have some of those sessions. We usually teach a lot of tools, as regards product management, at least up to 10 or more, right? Last year, we taught probably more than 10 or 15 tools. Um, yeah, we'll try our best to also organize some of those sessions. So that will be all. That will be all for this class. For those of you that joined, thanks for joining, and I hope you learned something from the session. If you have questions, feel free to drop those questions on Telegram or Discord. The moderators would call our attention to those questions, and would respond accordingly. All right. Thanks a lot, and let's have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.